back to Weekly Willy Nilly, where we are willy and nilly, and very willy nilly, apparently right now. So willy nilly.
My willy has got some nilly, and then my nilly, it probably should have been willying, and now it's nillying.
It's just not. But I'm Kia.
I'm Paula.
We're here to talk about Appalachia and how growing up in Appalachia impacted our queerness. So, how did growing up in Appalachia is what we say. How did growing up in Appalachia impact your queerness?
Well, I believe the first thing that it did is it just kind of like hit home that self-hatred, self-shame. There was a lot of passive-aggressive, like...
So let me start with this, too. Our age bracket, we were born in the 80s. We are 80s babies. We're 40 years old. So we've seen a lot of change.
Oh, yeah.
In a lot of ways. So, back to that.
Well, it's always been a mix of the reaction I got when I told, because I was super, super close with one of my friends and his family. God, they were there for other reasons, but like they're from Hitchens, which is, I mean, it's up a holler. It's I was always hit with it seemed like with that part of my family, my life, with passive aggressive, like bigotry. Like it would be like a
always
backhanded.
Wanting your hair to be long and
well, it was
that nature,
and it was the, you know, saying the some of the stuff that's offensive. Oh, but you know we love you. We know you know we love you. You know we're not saying that, but we don't want it in our face.
Like using the F word.
Oh yeah.
Or
this is across the board. This is not just a backwoods thing of, well, you know, it's fine that you're a lesbian, but them gay guys, it being okay for me, but not okay for them.
Yeah.
Then it was, I was one of the tough girls, so, because I was butch before I knew I was butch.
Yeah.
I was always tomboy. So it was without there, where Sue had 3 boys.
Which apparently, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but butch is now kind of a weird term. Like, not many people use the term
I never did
butch.
like it.
A lot of, I guess, how we are labeled is masculine presenting women.
Yeah.
Or masks.
Or Stellas.
Shellas.
Shellas.
But
I might be a Stella sometimes.
For sure. But I don't think that the Shellas, it was just a Space for Us podcast.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen it or not, but definitely check them out on YouTube. That's what they refer to themselves as, and it's pretty...
And I wish I could come up with something
very
that
awesome.
cool
for
us.
Very awesome.
I mean, the best I ever came up for us was Scratch and Spit. So I don't think...
Like itchy and scratchy kind of vibe, you know. Sometimes we regress to 14-year-old boys. It just happens. But
still, it was a lot of that, like, you know, they expected me to be a girl.
Yeah.
And I would get... Now, the thing is like, this happened as early as, like, being 5 years old at church with Sue and Josh. And Josh overheard, and keep in mind we were 5, overheard another kid at church calling me, making fun of me because I look like a boy, or calling me a boy or something. I mean, being mean to me.
Yeah.
Josh retaliated.
Well, you know, sometimes your friends are there for that reason.
But like it's just that it's that vibe of like, well, we already love you, so we got to keep you.
Yeah, we can't give you back.
If we could,
there's no.
If we could fix it for you, we would.
Yeah. Disappointed,
Disappointed,
but
but still loved me.
Still loved you in their way, which...
And always waited for me for this to end. So Sarah was like the only other gay person my age that I knew.
That was out.
So when I was like trying to...
Because we've known each other for a long, long time.
Since we were 12. Like trying to like transform into... Because I mean I was always tomboyish, but like there's still... When you come out, there's still a transitional period.
Expectations.
You figure out which flavor you are. I mean, because you haven't got to experience any kind of socialization in the fact of like liking and like seeing how you interact with this and that. Like growing up heterosexual,
learning how to live in a queer space.
Yeah,
or occupying that space as queer, lesbian, gay, whatever the case may be.
And where you fit in the community.
Yeah.
Because you haven't had, like, you learn that.
It's not like there's a square hole for a square peg and things of that nature.
No.
Community is so diverse, and that's what's so great about the queer community.
Yeah.
But learning yourself, I think it's a self-identity.
It's that as well, because you
type
all this whole time, like when like heterosexuals are growing up, they get to naturally figure out what type of person they like, what type of they get to date and not
it's
date.
Like a whole new adolescence.
This is like it's really? A whole new like
in my opinion, it's like a whole new adolescence.
Well, yeah, because you had to fake it and do what you didn't want to do, so it didn't matter anyway who you were dating. You didn't pick a type or not. I mean, I did. I dated guys who had long hair who looked like girls.
Very effeminate.
yeah, they're pretty. But like at 18 and 19 anyway, you're just at the point in life where you're starting to form an identity. You don't have a for sure one yet, but that's when you're actually like starting to get the qualities and traits that are going to make you you. That's when you start building that. So it was like it was like one long blooper reel until I was probably 28 or 26.
You think?
Yeah, from 19 to like, I was awkward as all get out from 19 till like 25. 25 was my sweet spot. 25 was good.
That was your peak.
I thought it was my peak at one
point.
I don't think that's my peak now. No, but I used to think that was my peak.
Peak at 40.
I wouldn't date another person under 40 ever in life. Mindy has ruined me. Like, I would never date somebody under, and you know how I was before. I wouldn't date somebody older than me at all. Not even by a year. Like, I always wanted to date.
She's got a little vanity. She's a lit's bit shallow, but she's a good person.
But see, I've had therapy and all. It's not really vanity. It's called an inferiority complex.
Okay.
And it's called
what she said.
Yeah, it's not really inferiority. It was the facade I had to build. It was that, because once I did get in the community, like the first girlfriend did me in.
Yeah.
And because here I was very blind and very whimsical about my thoughts of what a relationship and love, and I was willing to only date one girl ever in my life and be happy with it. I was stupid. Thank God she was smarter than me. Now, that doesn't make everything good. It just means that she was smart enough to know that we were too young to just, that's it. Like, we needed to explore other options. Boy, did I explore them after I...
Hey, you got to do what you got to do.
To get over somebody. Anyway, but like, I know that I struggled really, really, really bad with being comfortable in my skin. That
due to
I didn't feel like I was the
feeling of passive aggressive, loving you in their way, but still.
Yeah, I didn't know. Well, that, and I knew what type of girls I liked. I knew that I liked really feminine girls. At that point, it was hard to find a feminine lesbian.
Oh yeah,
who was fully lesbian.
for sure.
Um,
For sure.
and it kind of
It still is kind of hard.
and still
not...
I still wasn't butch enough at that point.
Yeah.
Because I dropped the makeup, but I wore guy clothes. I always wore guy clothes is the thing, or I wore girl clothes that look like guy clothes. Yeah. It's just it went from like underwear to boxers. And but I didn't really like have any confidence about it. I was way awkward. I didn't think that any girl would even be interested in me. I didn't think that I didn't fit in my head what I wanted the thing to be. It just was very awkward. And I was sober at that, soberish at that point. I drank and smoked weed at that point. Yeah. So it wasn't, and that's kind of one of the things that like fueled, that pushed me more into drugs, is that it made me an inhibited. Like it made me.
Your inhibitions were lowered.
Yeah. It gave me that false
that
confidence.
Yep.
And I thought that's who I was when I'd finally got into my little, I call it the frat boy phase. I was a douchey frat boy. I remember one of your exes even like had called me that.
Dubbed you that.
Yeah. Dubbed me that. Yeah. I'm a glorified frat boy, lesbian frat boy.
And I couldn't see that side of it just because I'm oblivious to a lot of things.
Well, and I mean, you knew me as a person. You knew that, like, even when I act wild and stuff, that wasn't like me to my core. That's just me acting wild.
That's just what happened that day.
That's just how that day went. But like, because it seems like in our community that masculine women are.
Are you talking about the queer community, or are you talking
lesbian
about lesbian
community? Okay. That like our community within a community, that the masculine community is even like put even lower sometimes. Like even my girlfriend has said like before, because she talked about her weight or something, and I was like, I was a $145 or even skinnier when we first met. I'm not that now. I have issues with me
body image,
with my body image, because I'd never been skinny as an adult until the 2 years before I went into rehab this time. I had really bad issues with like getting sober and worrying about like gaining weight. Mm-hmm. But she says, well, you're not girly, so that don't matter. And I'm like, what do you mean that don't matter?
I'm still a woman.
Or I say something about like me look like matching or something. Well, it don't matter. You get older, you can get bigger and stuff. It won't matter because you're not girly, you're not feminine. I'm like,
that doesn't make any sense to me.
I know men that get upset about their body when it.
But we're
changes.
Not men.
I know.
We're women.
But I'm saying even
we're human.
Like we're humans.
First.
We let a lot of things rest on our image. Like,
oh yeah.
Like all the things.
I don't really.
I know you don't.
I really.
It's annoying.
I really don't let much rest on my image.
We're gonna get some things to rest on our image. It's fine.
Being queer in Appalachia, or how did growing up in Appalachia impact my queerness? I felt isolated as an Appalachian, and I felt isolated a little bit more as a queer Appalachian. This is a small area, population of 21,000, 22,000, 21,476 people in Ashland, in my city, in Ashland, Kentucky. The county's a little bigger, it about doubles. It's like 47,000 or something like that in Boyd County. But we are very isolated. We're like 20 years behind, and I think we're picking up. We're growing, and we're becoming more progressive. But a lot of people are like holding on, scratching and kicking and screaming.
And it's not to your face is the thing. Yeah. It's a very because you're to have manners and be polite. It's a Southern thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
But somebody could be absolutely, and it took me forever to learn this, that they would be really nice to you, They come in any of my works or anything, they, oh, yeah. And then the moment they would find out, because for some reason they didn't like catch on quite quickly, but they would to my face be nice, but then I would hear stuff later of
about
how they really think about things. And just because they're nice to you doesn't mean that they support what you do.
Absolutely.
And people even like supporting who you are and everything, they would be like, oh, they're fine with you as a person, then say, I just don't support how you live, but I can still be your friend, and you're supposed to accept that.
Yeah. And a lot of times we sell ourselves short a lot of times.
How many times have you heard, I don't want, that's fine that you're gay, I just don't want it in my face.
Yeah.
Or it's fine that you're gay, do you have to dress like a boy?
I don't have to, but I want to
be comfortable.
Be myself. I want to be comfortable in my own skin, and wearing a dress and makeup and all that stuff is not comfortable for me. It's just not. I don't feel my energy does not match.
Yeah.
Dresses whoops.
Here we go.
I hit the thing. So sorry. But it just doesn't match.
It never did match mine.
No, it never matched.
Which makes me think on a level, not about being born gay, but like being masculine women. I really think we're like our own breed of people. Like because look in all the other communities, in the heterosexual, the homosexual, even like the gay community with the guys, and there's none like us. And it seems like always I don't ever see a masculine woman who was once super girly and did it on their own and was happy about it. They always are little tomboys, and typically tomboys, and then growing up they'll do some of the girly stuff to pacify and to try.
I have seen the opposite. I have seen tomboys growing up that turn into these beautiful feminine women.
Yeah, I've seen that. But like, it's like we were meant to be like this. I mean, like my body, my body shape,
absolutely meant to be who we are, right here, right now.
I am an upside down triangle. I've got broad shoulders. I got narrow waist. I look ridiculous in women's clothing.
No.
Even as a teenager, I didn't look like I was meant to be in those clothes.
I, on the other hand, have all the curves. I have all of them.
But your energy, if you had on stuff, I would be able to be like,
something ain't right.
Fix your face and everything else.
Something's not right. You go change the clothes.
And the thing, but I remember being younger.
Big deal.
And being like super anti-feminine. Like I got
afraid of it.
Oh, I was uncomfortable as all get out with it. I didn't want it to be attached to me in no way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
It took me till like in my 30s, my late 30s, to be comfortable with everything that's feminine.
Do you think that is just a queer thing, a masculine presenting woman thing? Do you think it's an Appalachian thing that's causing this? What do you think that is?
I think that people get an idea of who you are, and how they've always seen you or whatever. I think that you get stuck on meeting their expectations. Like I remember before I came out,
it's just a human thing.
I didn't want to be gay just because everybody had already said growing up that I was probably going to be gay.
Yeah.
And I just didn't want to be what they thought I was going to be.
Yeah.
That's why I fought it so hard.
Should we tell them what we did to each other?
Pushed me into homophobia. Yeah, that's funny.
So when we were in high school, we went to school together. We grew up together. We've known each other since we were like 12. So, as a masculine presenting woman, queer woman, both of us, you have this. Yeah, she was a year ahead of me. We're the same age. My birthday fell late, but anyways, she's got me by 6 months or something, isn't it?
From May to
whatever. She's older than me. Yeah. Anyways,
I get there first.
Yes. Anyways, we would always talk, and of course we would throw each other under the bus. We were jerks. We were absolute jerks.
We would
Paula
always,
would always say, "You know, Kia's gay, right?"
you know when
this, right?
you know when she goes to college, right? It's going to take 1 semester, and she's going to come back with her girlfriend.
And all the while,
Or a
she's
roommate.
over here. Yes, all the while she's over here not talking about it, but she's plotting how she's going to do what she's going to do because she's queer as a football bat too.
But meanwhile, while I'm saying that, Kia is going, y'all. I think Paula's gay.
I think Paula's gay.
It's like
we're saying it.
we were doing this. We were like,
it wasn't me. It was her. It was not me. It's her.
And then both of us came out right at around the same time. I came out first. You came out right after.
I know I was.
But you were dating people, and you were dating. I didn't. I was out for 3 months before I ever even touched a girl, held her hand, did any of that. Like came out to my mom and everything before I ever even was with a girl.
Yeah.
And you. I wish I would have had that high school experience.
I didn't mean for that to happen.
Well, I mean,
I didn't mean for that. It just happened the way it happened. You know, I wouldn't change it per se, but I do wish that it could have been different.
But I mean, it gave you a little bit more of a idea a little bit younger though.
Oh yeah, I knew.
Because at that age,
I knew for sure.
When you were doing that, I was in my head going, how can I not be gay? All right, Paula, sit. Play dead.
But
don't be gay.
Don't confuse that with me.
She wasn't out and about it.
I was not.
No, it was hidden. It was hidden.
It was hidden to the best of my ability. It was not hidden at all. People were very aware of what was going on. Ooh, I was just oblivious. But don't get confused in the fact that I still didn't want to be gay.
Oh yeah, you still struggled with it.
I didn't want to be gay at all.
Yeah, you just got to test the waters.
Confirmed.
Yeah, and you got to confirm it. Yeah.
Very young.
Yeah,
very young.
I remember being 5 and having.
I was in high school, but I was still young.
I was 5 when I had my first crush on. It was Debbie Gibson, Electric Youth.
You know, looking back, I had like a little crush on my, what do you call it? Head Start bus monitor. Looking back on it now, I know that because I wanted to see her all the time, and I always wanted to be next to her. It wasn't like a weird. There was no weird stuff going on.
Yeah.
But looking back, I know now that, yeah, I totally had a crush on this person.
I don't know. I think that Appalachia has also given me strengths in it. That because Appalachian people are
resilient.
We're resilient.
We're hardy.
We're not soft skinned.
No.
So some of that like probably made me to where I'm not overly sensitive about things.
No.
And it gave me a gruffness that chicks like, I think. Yeah, because I can fix stuff.
And make things happen.
And they like the way I talk.
I actually struggled with that. I like my accent. I try my best not to have it.
Yeah, we are from the same place.
Born and raised.
Granted, I spent a lot of time out in a different county with a different family and stuff. I spent a lot of time up a holler. Okay, so my twang is a bit more than what Ashland twang typically is. Ashland,
I don't know,
we sound like Georgians. We sound like we're from Georgia.
There's still an accent. There's still, you can tell they are.
Oh yeah, there's a distinct difference from the bridge, like going from Ironton people, which is across the bridge in Ohio, to Kentucky people, and it's literally a bridge that separates us. But then the Huntington people, they have a different twang than both of us. Yeah. So it's like.
But yeah, I struggled with that. I did not want to be associated with Appalachia. I really struggled with that. I struggled with my accent. I struggled being associated with Appalachia, Kentucky. I didn't want those stereotypes. So I fought really, really hard to get rid of my accent. And sometimes it comes back. Sometimes it's present. And I'm no longer ashamed. I will tell anybody where I'm from. I'll tell anybody anything, pretty much. So, yeah,
I'm like that too. Like I remember. Well, I mean, I didn't try to change. I knew I couldn't change my accent. Sue and Lodge didn't happen.
I don't know how I did. I really don't know how I had the capacity.
Yeah, because your mom has an accent from here, an Ashland accent.
Yeah, mom sounds like she's from Ashland. My whole family sounded like they were from
Your
Ashland,
dad does.
pretty much. Yeah,
and your grandmother definitely.
Yeah. So I don't know.
I don't know who you are.
I don't know.
I know that, like, I never appreciated Kentucky as much as I do now. I picked up on it when I picked Mindy up from the airport and was driving her back.
Yeah, I love these
Ashland.
mountains.
Lexington to here is so pretty.
I feel a huge connection to these mountains. I really, really do. And it sounds weird to people outside of this region, but I do. I feel a strong connection.
Well, we're as a community, as Appalachians, we are we do take care of our own. We do protect our own, and we're a dysfunctional family is really what we are. We're a toxic relationship. You can't
toxic is overused, I think. Yeah. But anyway,
I mean, but it's it's a messed up relationship. But at the base of it is,
but they love you
in their own way.
In their own way.
I hate that saying.
In their own way. Why can't you just love me? Why can't you just unconditionally? There's no stipulations. There's none of that garbage. But it is what it is.
Church of
God. Snoop made that popular, by the way. Yeah. He snapped that. What was it? It was Instagram. There was a church on one of our main roads around here, and it was called "Is What It Is." Church of God. Church of God. Is what it is, Church of God. And he had a picture of it on Instagram. Find it, Snoop Dogg.
I swear, I think he took it from you, though. I think he took it from me or you. We took a picture of him, and remember,
maybe he did make my picture famous. I don't think that it was the same picture. I'm not sure, but I thought it was really cool that Snoop Dogg posted a picture from Ashland, Kentucky. I was pumped about it.
Well, and I remember we captioned it I bet you instead of saying amen, they say what it do, yo. But I mean, that's the other thing around it. There's a church literally, I counted before, just in South Ashland, not even the whole of Ashland.
Every corner.
Literally you don't go more than 2 blocks.
No,
without a church. And they're all different denominations.
Yeah.
But literally, there's a 4-way. There's a church right there, and there's one diagonally this way, and there's one beside it over here.
Yep.
I mean,
true story. And in Ironton, right across the river, 5 minutes away, well, let's say 12 minutes away, there's a church on every other corner, but there's a bar on every corner.
Oh yeah, there's yeah.
So addiction and alcoholism and things like that are prevalent everywhere, but in this particular region, I think it's
our rates are higher.
Our rates are much, much higher. Despair, desperation, isolation, all of those things play into it, and that's another episode, I'm sure.
From the lack of resources, lack of the mentality of
mental health.
Well, I mean, people from Appalachia, they for generations been afraid of, I don't know if afraid of doctors but weary of doctors.
Untrusting
of that kind of thing. Yeah. It's weird here though to me. We're so with it in some ways, but to me in the really important ways and the things that's going to foster bringing up kids that don't hate themselves and that question themselves and that are confident in themselves, we are so far behind.
Text 988 or call 988 for any kind of suicidal issues, mental health type issues. If you are in crisis and you need someone to talk to, make sure you call or text 988. For addiction and recovery stuff, you can text 435748 to find help near you. Or if you want to call, this is free and confidential. It's 1-800-662-4357.
That's what I was thinking.
That's the one that she was thinking about.
Yeah, that spells help at the end.
The 4357 spells help.
Yeah.
662 help.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. 1-800-662-HELP.
And they are 24/7, free, confidential, all that good stuff.
They also will direct you to local detox centers, local any kind of thing, any kind of resource locally.
Yeah.
They'll direct you to that.
So I will also put those on the screen for the YouTube realm. If you are watching us on YouTube, make sure that you like and you comment, keep us relevant, and subscribe. Share with your friends, share with anybody that you might think would enjoy this dynamic.
Sharing
duo.
is caring.
Sharing is caring.
I would have shared.
I totally would
for
share.
them. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd share for you guys.
Yeah.
I'm guilty.
Maybe not share a pizza or tacos, but she might share a few things. And if you're listening on Spotify, make sure you rate us. 5 stars is preferred, but whatever you want to rate us.
I hear it gets you extra bonus points in the karmic realm.
Yeah, most likely, I would say for sure. So make sure you rate us and make sure you download on the Spotify, the Apple, all the podcast areas. And be kind to yourself and be kind to others. Mainly because, you need to.
People are mean enough to themselves.
Yeah, for sure.
And then other people are mean to them too. So
and you never know what somebody's going through.
You never know what battle.
So just be nice.
Yes.
Be kind. That's all.
That's it. We're out.
See you next time.